Yo,
Hello,
what's up?
hello. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. It's a beautiful day. Feeling good?
You're, yeah, thanks, I'm good. You're still in search, by the way.
In search? Oh, okay. Yeah. So what do you want to talk about?
Uh, well, in general, I just want to discuss, how do you feel about Quake Champions at the moment with that kind of balance, and how do you feel with meta, let's say?
Okay. Um, I'd say,
And
and then
wait,
what?
wait, wait.
Uh-huh.
Actually, my general question is do you like how is it at the moment?
I would say for duel, I don't like how it is at the moment, but for sacrifice, I do. And I don't know. Like
Uh,
the main issues I have with the game right now are like there are certain like broken mechanics that make like the fast champions like really viable, especially even in sacrifice, like with the pummeling and just like you just rush in without being punished. So like holding good position doesn't always mean as much anymore because like they just overtake the position with just pure speed because they're so hard to hit. Um, yeah, I don't know. And so like right now for duel, it feels like the game is all about who can rush into your face the fastest and hit the first rocket, or you play like really far with rail, if rails even hit.
yeah, but on the same in the same case, for example, I play clutch. If somebody rush to the face, like how you did explain,
Yeah,
it actually doesn't work. So that means players they have to play more defensive and don't rush. Just stay like more distance,
yeah.
stuff like that.
Well, I feel like some players they haven't played against clutch in a while, so they're not playing it properly. Like they can still be aggressive, but they have to uh, play like really aggressive with getting rail angles, and people aren't abusing machine gun against clutch enough. You know, like when I
Hmm.
watched you play Toxic earlier, like he was trying to when he was playing Anarchy versus your Clutch on Blood Covenant, he wasn't using machine gun enough. He's like trying to outrail you, but you like already have the angle on him first instead of like him abusing the hitbox, playing from mid range, baiting you,
Yeah,
escaping.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't give any opportunity for angles, you know. So like I'm trying to play with corners, like staying behind the walls, and just like trying to take a fight when I always have a shield. But actually on Blood Covenant, it didn't work well for me. But on the rest of the maps, it worked pretty well.
yeah.
Uh, so you don't like how it is right now, right?
Correct. I think like with the way rockets are fine. Like
Hmm.
most of the stuff in the game is fine. It's just how the lightning gun has pretty much been removed from use against like half of the cast of champions. Like once
Hmm.
LG is like more balanced again, then I think the game will be a lot more fun to play because then it's like you can play from all sorts of ranges to engage and disengage fights. I think it'll make it much better.
Yeah, but people was kind of crying before, you know, when
Yeah.
LG was like more able to play with.
Well, like it was. Well, we all know that it was broken. Like it was. It was not working like it should. And like
Yeah, but
LG now feels good against like, Ranger, Visor, the tanks. Like it feels like when it hits, it's hitting, and when you're missing, you are actually missing now. It's like it's good. It's just
hmm
when you have a Nyx go straight up a jump pad like at last resort, and you like have your crosshair on her the whole time, and you're not hitting anything. That something's not right. So
okay. And do you think they have opportunity to make it able to hit?
I think
I
so.
mean,
Like
yeah.
yeah, if they whatever these mesh hitboxes they're supposed to do, It'd be nice to see. I think like that's all they need to do, and it should feel better. And if they do that, and it feels like the squishy characters are like too fragile, then like LG works too well, like everything is hitting them too much, they die a lot. Then they should just
Hmm.
adjust the health of all the champions. Like I don't mind potentially having more than 200 200 on a tank. Like you could go above that so that you can give like a little more health and armor to like the lighter characters and like actually make fights more drawn out and people want to take more engagements because they have more health and armor with how much damage weapons do in this game compared to Quake Live.
Hmm. And do you think they gonna work on it, or it's just your thoughts about that, but
That's just my
nothing's gonna be
thoughts. Like
changed?
I don't know for sure like exactly what they're gonna do. I just know they're supposed to. I don't know when, but I know they're supposed to do the hitbox thing that they've already stated that they're going to. I just don't know if it'll be before DreamHack Winter or after.
Hmm. Okay. And why did you switch to Quake Champions instead of keep playing Overwatch? Because he was doing pretty well with Team Liquid.
Mm, I
Is it okay? Okay, wait. Is it all about the league and Liquid was not be able to get the spot on it?
no, I actually didn't know that they were not going to be in. I had every assumption that they would be in the league at that time when I decided to step down, and then it was like a week after I left.
Yeah,
They,
but why? But why?
mm, I don't know all the reasons why. Like I can guess that they didn't want to invest, like that kind of money right away for the
Hmm.
first season. They probably want to see like how it goes for the first season for viewership and how well it takes off. Because there's always a chance a team can get in for like the second season or the third season since it's a 5-year plan. Um, so I don't know, but I kind of was just getting to the point where I was a little burnt out. From playing Lucio the whole time, like for long periods of time, like what that's like. And yeah, I don't know. And I just wanted to come back to Quake and see what I can do. And if I have any future in Overwatch, I don't mind potentially like if the league does well, I wouldn't mind going back being a coach or potentially like shoutcasting the game, like being a caster. That wouldn't
Mm,
that wouldn't be bad.
okay, and how do you feel after you placed not that well on those two tournaments? I mean, in duel.
Hmm.
I mean, actually, my question is, how do you feel inside you, especially like after a good shape in Quake Life and like always placing top three? I mean, most of the time, but now you are not doing that well. I mean, you're doing well, but not that well as
Yeah, as before. I know what you mean.
yeah. And how do you feel inside you, and how do you work with yourself in this case?
Um, that's a good question. I feel like at QuakeCon I was in enough shape to get to the top four. Um, and I feel like in the couple games that I've lost, so when I've lost to Dehang and I lost to Noctis, um, I made a few more mistakes than I usually make, but also I would set up good situations for myself, like good fights where I have like a 70-80% chance to win, but then they, you know, hit amazing rockets or shots that
Yeah,
like
clutch moments, let's say.
yeah, really clutch moments and I can't close the frag out then or like I'm about to have it and they kill me instead. And then they get away with low life and I don't manage to, find them after that. I feel like I'm playing well, but I just need a little bit more consistency in my game and I think I can be up there again. So for placing top 8 at both these tournaments, it hasn't been where like I don't feel like depressed about the placement. I don't feel discouraged. I just look at it like I need to find the small little things that I need to change and make more consistent, and I can be there again. So I don't know.
Hmm.
But I feel at the moment, so far, I've been playing much better in Sacrifice as far as like mm, in Quake Live, my duel game was very high, and my team game was as well. But obviously, one versus one, I was better. Whereas here, right now, I'm playing at a very high level in Sacrifice, and duel, I just need that little bit extra.
And do you feel sacrifice? I mean, do you prefer sacrifice or duel? And what are you focused on more?
I'd say it's easier to focus on Sacrifice in NA because of um, the practice schedules and just also the lack of top duelers in NA compared to EU. It's like
Hmm.
harder to find practice like at the right times and stuff like that. Um, I still I still do a good job of finding it, but I don't know. I think I should be in really good shape for winter because I'll go and I'll boot camp beforehand for sacrifice and duel, and I should be in really good shape. So
Hmm.
I think it just
And
comes down to right now. It's like it's easier to find good practice for sacrifice over here than it is for duel.
Okay, and do you find it pretty hard to mix sacrifice and duel at the same time?
Mm,
And don't you think you can get your good shape in Quake Champions duel just because of sacrifice?
no, I don't think just playing sacrifice is enough for duel, because like you stated, I don't think if you're sacrifice too many words are the fucking same. If you start limiting your practice too much for duel, then you start missing out on the very small little tricks and moments that players can create, and you
Yeah.
need to be ready for that. So I think what I need to do is put in more time. If I can't get as much practice as I want for duel, then I need to put in more time reviewing games and thinking about what other players are doing and like what the right approach to certain situations are and things like that.
Okay. On the last tournament, you was actually the one who, I mean, the only one who beat it Raisy.
Hmm.
And what do you think about this player, his style, and what you should recommend to players which plays against him?
Um, I think he's got a lot of talent. He's obviously very good at movement and aim. That's like his strong point. Whereas he's slowly building up how he thinks properly in the game.
Hmm.
So he's a player that likes to use his mechanics and to take advantage. Like I think I explained it after Denver on a stream before, where like right now, the reason
Hmm.
he's beating players is because like, let's say you play any other person, in your mind, you're like holding a position and you're thinking in your head, there is no way, there is no chance in hell this guy will rush from here and attack through here because it's really bad for him to do so. So in your mind, you're thinking that 100% that area or that angle is okay. You're fine, but he will push that angle like surprisingly. So and he gets there like quickly, and it's to the point where since you thought 100% for sure he won't be there, now he's past the position where like it's bad position for him, and he's like overtaken it, and now he has good position and he has strong aim. So I think like players that are playing against him need to just be more aware of the fact that they're potentially in constant danger of taking damage or being engaged on. And so like just as they're like moving around the map and thinking about what they need to do, just be ready to be fought at all times. Like what are you going to do if he fights you right now? And as people get more prepared for what he tries to do, I think um, that'll help them. And he might struggle for a little bit, but then after that happens for a tournament or two, he'll probably adjust his play style and realize it's not working, and he'll start to play smarter, and he'll get even better from that. That's what I think will happen, but who knows?
Mm. And what do you think about the future of Quake Champions?
Mm, I don't know. I know like for the team stuff, it's been really fun to play Sacrifice, but I know it's difficult to spectate. There's like a lot going on, and it's hard to see the action. So I don't know if they'll stay with that mode or not. And as far as duel, um, yeah, I mean there's some intriguing factor to the champions aspect, but it also makes the game feel very defensive because you only have 3 lives, and uh, the potential like you die once and you get killed off spawn again, and you're already down 2. Yeah, so it makes people want to play really safe. Um, I'd like to see how the game would play differently if they changed the format, like with how many lives you have or what the time limit is, things like that, or even potentially change how stacks work and just something to maybe create a little more incentive to fight and to have action instead of playing it as safe as it is now. Because it feels like the rounds are either over within 40 seconds because you got a good start, you crush him off spawn, he dies 3 times, or the game goes all 5 minutes and it's like really slow. There is no like in between back and forth feel to the game.
Mm. And what about esports?
What about esports? What just like
Yeah,
in general?
I mean, no, I mean about the future. Because actually they haven't announced any tournament after DreamHack actually,
Yeah, I know. Um,
and I have no idea like what to expect.
yeah, I don't know like what timeline. I mean, they've said that they have big plans for 2018, but I don't know like when the start of that will be. Like where they start the tournaments and then they keep going. So that could be anywhere like springtime, summer, fall, and then it just goes for an entire year of a lot of events to play. I'm not sure. I don't have those answers. You should talk to John Hill.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I was asking about your thoughts about how do you think Quake Champions will be, I mean, a kind of stable esport game in the future and stuff like that. And can you expect next year to be pretty successful for players to put a lot of time into the game and just keep competing? It's actually the main question for me. Like, I'm not sure about the future of the esports, so I have no idea about tournaments, about prize money, about my contract, blah blah blah. So I need to be sure next year would be, I mean, not would
Hmm.
be, but should be kind of stable in this case.
Yeah, I mean that's like they've said they're going to support and back the game and try to make a big push with esports. But I mean, hopefully, like we see action behind it, like see an actual plan,
Hmm.
and not just talk. But it's like even when they do that, I think for Quake, it's something that we as a community have to help build up. Like we need to like I don't know, we just need to help each other build our community, make it better, support each other, especially like the newer players. Like I think us pro players need to do a good job of coming up with good content that helps like teach them and encourage them how to play the game at a level where they actually like know what they're doing and they enjoy the like it's more Quake is so much more fun when you know what you're doing compared to you know, you get into a game and you see some guy running around so fast that you feel like you'll never get to that level. Like you have no idea how because like
Yeah, I
they
know
have
what you mean. Yeah,
so I
yeah,
don't I
like
don't think
Quake
it'll
kind
ever
of.
I don't think it'll ever get to the level of like Counter Strike or anything like that. Just speaking realistically, like I think Quake is a bit too hard, but it can
Yeah,
have like
but
its own place.
As I know, ranked games are gonna be soon, so I hope it's gonna help like new players. I
Hmm.
mean, to not get that raped, because Quake is a kind of a game which makes a kind of pressure on you, like while playing. So we'll see about matchmaking when it comes.
Yeah.
I really want to ask you about Evil. What? Uh, why do you think he's not able to make it that well? I mean, actually, like not being in top 16 world. What do you think about him?
Mm, I don't know. Talking to him at QuakeCon, he said he's been having troubles at home with like I don't know whether it's his computer or his internet. That's what he said. Yeah, yeah. We don't have to go into detail about it or whatever, but as well, like I played him in a couple sets before I played Raisy. He helped me warm up,
Mhm.
and it just felt like he's like his big strength in Quake Live was like playing positionally and playing the player and applying pressure constantly because the health comes up every 35 seconds in Quake Live. So it's a long time. So like if you get a guy weak, you can constantly like for him he like builds up he like puts more pressure on you like slowly and just it just becomes insurmountable eventually. Whereas here like he may get an advantage but a player gets away and then they're right back up to their stack quickly because all health and light armors respawn every 15 seconds. So like comparatively, they can get 2 cycles of that in the same time that you could in Quake Live. The same amount of health, the same amount of armor, pretty much within you know it's a bit ridiculous. So I think like he hasn't adapted very well to the new playstyle and how you need to approach and engage the game. Because I mean his aim is still there. There's no question about that. I don't think he's playing. I don't think the flow of the game he hasn't adapted to it well, and I think that's why um, he's had the issues that he's had.
Okay. Yeah, I actually agree because even in Quake Live, he was trying himself around the year or maybe two before he started to get that good, because I was following him like from the start,
Hmm.
and he spent a lot of time, as I said, like one year or maybe 2 years before he started to be like very top player. So we will see about that a little bit later, I guess. Also, I wanted to ask you about your contract. I mean, if you even able to tell me about that. Like, are you even under the contract yet? And are you in touch with
All I can say is I'm re-signing with Liquid. They're re-signing to hang an
Liquid?
eye. Yep, that's correct.
Okay. And do you feel like happy about that? I mean, is it all right for you or?
Yeah, I do. I like the I like the situation going forward, and
Okay.
yeah. So they seemed very. What helped is they seemed very committed to if there's tournaments where we need to like go and get better practice in Europe, we can go do that, and it's not a problem. It's like don't even have to second guess it, and yeah, and I have a very stable situation as far as the contract is and overall, and yeah, I'm very happy with it. So
Hmm. Okay. 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 Well, thank you for answers.
yeah, man, it's good to hear from you. So
Uh, yeah, I think we'll see each other in 1 month or so.
yeah, yeah, I'll definitely hit you up for practice. I just
Well,
don't
actually,
I just
yeah.
don't know when we're arriving yet and where. So
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it will be fun actually, because a lot of players kind of dreaming to play against you and team, blah blah blah. So we will wait you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you for your
Yeah, man.
time.
Have a
Bye
nice night,
bye.
Anton. Peace. What do you mean I got bored?